All right, and now we're here. All right, hi everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shauna. Welcome back. If you are new, thank you. Hey, nice to meet you. Today we're going to be doing you're going to pick an object. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some tarot cards on like pretty much what the topic is about. So today's topic is how will they feel if you tell them you're pregnant? Now, I guess you could ask for like family, you could ask for friends, you could ask for your partner, you could ask for like the dad, whoever, and I'll just do my best to try and interpret what I see just based off of how they would feel and how they would react. Now, I came up with this idea because I came across a few videos on YouTube and I noticed that a certain group of readers would interpret the cards that they got one way, and a certain group of readers would interpret what they were getting a different way. I noticed that a majority of the African American readers that I would click on would have very negative things to say in regard to pregnancy reactions as opposed to the non-African Americans. So this video or this idea was pretty much prompted, just to experiment for myself and see what's inside of my subconscious mind. And it is a very cautionary tale to, kind of be careful with that, because you never know who or what you could be projecting upon. Now, I'm not saying that it was only the Black readers that had negative things to say, but for the most part, that is actually scratch that. That was exactly what I was seeing. So, so that's the question. How would they feel or react to finding out you're pregnant? So we have the glitter lip thing right here. Here's option 1. This is a nipple cover that I just haven't worn yet. It's a rose and it's like felt. It's cute. Let me put these up. So here's option 1. Glitter lip. It's really cute. Here's option 2. Really cute. It's like a velvety. It's cute. Never mind. Here is option 3, which is some Damiana. And then option 4 is this deck here. Maybe something will pop out to you there. But now everything is crooked. But go ahead and take your pick. I'll try and leave timestamps down below. And you can just go straight to your pile. But of course, as always, we are going to start with number 1. See you there. All right, hello, welcome to your pile. If you guys are the group that chose the lip kit or pile 1, then this is going to be your reading. Okay, so even though I just started, I almost forgot what the question was. So the question is supposed to be, spirit guides and ancestors, what will the person on my pile 1's mind feel, or how would they react to finding out that they are pregnant? Here's my tarot deck here. You guys know what it is with the Miss Cleo. We're gonna give me a little bit of time. Let me shuffle on camera. What would they feel? How would my pile 1's feel? I'm gonna take this one right here, and I'm gonna take a little bit of advice, and I'm gonna just pause for a second here so that I can absorb. So our first card that pops out is the 7 of Wands. I feel like this would be kind of a positive reaction because the Seven of Wands to me says if it isn't one thing, it's another, but there's still like this bring it on vibe. It comes after the Six of Wands, which is a victory and you're being celebrated and you can rest on your laurels per se, but because things always change and everything comes in cycles and progressions, that doesn't last long and progresses to the Seven of Wands. How I see the Seven of Wands is, a good analogy would be how when you get on top, you've got to stay on top. Like a reigning queen, well, not a reigning queen in the beauty pageant, but like you know how music artists, they have to like keep getting number ones and they have to kind of like stay relevant so that people will know who they are and buy their music or whatever it is that they're selling at the moment. This is how I see the Seven of Wands. Now, if you break it down to someone feeling when you get pregnant, depending on who it is, if it's a partner, I wouldn't say that they're unhappy. I wouldn't say that they're suffering any pain from that. They are happy. It's just that they understand that a lot of responsibility comes with that. And in this blessing, there's going to be a lot of hard work. And indeed, as we could clearly see this man's stance in the color of his staff or his wand, his staff that he's holding here, he's ready to take on that action. The color red is all about action. And he's got green on his head. He's got green on his body. And then there is white. So there's pure intention there, as well as abundance. And then, of course, we see the peace. And then there's, that river is giving me more of a nurturing type of vibe with the pyramids. And we know that that's great. So I count this card as something positive. Let me see if Spirit is going to give me anything else. Well, not Spirit, because I honestly just believe in God. But let me see if Ancestors and Spirit Guides want to give me another card. Ancestors and Spirit Guides, what do you say? Let me see. How would pile one feel? Because this is... I never know who's going to click on these things. Okay, and then I have something at the deck, bottom of the deck, calling my name. I'm going to put that here just for a note, and then I'll put that there. Okay, so the next card that I have is the Death card. Now, the Death card means to me just transformation. You don't have to worry about this person wanting to die. You don't have to worry about this person wanting you to abort or kill you or anything like that. I don't know if I could say that or not, but something in them will change, obviously, and something in you would be changed as well, since you would be technically a mother, well, a woman who's been pregnant, or a person who's been pregnant from here on out, and they would have had something to do with that in some way, shape, or form. Like if you're asking about your parent, when there weren't maybe a grandparent from you before, they always and forever will be now, because, conception, and that's how that works. So I would count that as a change. If it's your partner and they don't have any kids and they don't have any other kids by you, or let's just say they do have kids by you and it's their second, it's y'all's third, it's your fourth. You've yet to have a fourth baby. You've yet to have a fifth baby. You've yet to have your second. So that would be what's changing inside of that person. Instead of being a parent to number however many, they're now a parent to one more. Okay, and then there's our number 13, and you guys can look that up. That holds a lot of significance to your answer. And I love this depiction of death because he is holding an ankh, and that is amazing since we are talking about pregnancy. Now, I do want to bring our attention to the next two cards that came out. This King of Pentacles or King of Coins obviously came first, and then we have the Two of Swords. Now, reading this as a combination, the King of Swords, I always look at this picture and I see him as very laid back, very much so, not necessarily macho because he's got money. He doesn't necessarily have anything to prove because he's already proved everything to himself. Very practical, very much so a thinker, and you've got to have some sort of strategy if you want to survive and become, king of anything in this world, especially pinnacles. So because we have the Two of Swords is usually my no card. You can see how she has her eyes covered and then the swords are making an X. And we all know that X means stop, X means no, X means, a knot. So how I would depict this is that the King of Swords in this person, or overall one of the feelings that this person would have, is that whatever money, and this is specifically someone who was talking about their partner, like a man, the man responsible for getting you pregnant, if that's what's going on here, or your partner, pretty much. They would understand that their days of, barefoot, just lounging around, resting on, whatever it is that they've accomplished, those riches are kind of over, because they're going to have to take, I have the Five of Wands at the bottom here. They're going to have to take a more proactive stance in your life. They would have to be proactive in someone else's life. And, specifically this child, that's very important. They're going to have to go to games and other things that children have going on. They can't just, not show up. And another thing that I just got is that money is not the most important. Children don't necessarily care about the draping, the flashing, or anything like that. They kind of need someone to be there. So instead of him being laid back like this, I kind of see him sitting up just a little bit to take more initiative. And as I said that, I noticed the horns here. So that does symbolize to me that he would be indeed ready to take initiative. I'm going to ask for one more card. Ancestors and spirit guides. Can I have one more card? Ew, what is that? Okay, I had a little bit of lint on me. Okay, I'm going to ask for one more card. Ancestors and spirit guides for our pile ones. Uh-oh, it looks like something was flipped. Hold on. Now, let me keep it on camera because I don't want you guys to think I'm playing around. All right, well, I can't find it. Okay, so one more card. Any other messages? Because I'm not going to lock you guys into just one. Anything else? How would pile one's person feel? Don't fret about this Three of Swords there. It usually gets a bad rep. Okay, and we're going to close this out with the Star card, which to me looks like an amazing feeling for telling anyone that you are pregnant. As we all know, or may not know, pregnancy is kind of like a Russian roulette for some. You never know what you're going to get. You don't automatically, right off the bat, for the most part, know if you're having a boy or a girl. You don't know if they're going to have any sort of special needs that may need to be taken care of. You don't know if you'll make it to full term. You just don't know. So the Star card to me is always a symbol of hope. It's always a symbol of pouring all of your faith into God, and with those eyes closed, leading not by sight but by faith, blind faith, giving your power or giving something over to something much greater than you. So that's how that person or whoever it is on your mind would feel. That is how they would react. I don't see anything negative here. Now I'm looking, hold on guys, because let me make sure that's it. Now, I guess it really depends on who clicked on the reading, because I know I see the Three of Swords And then at the bottom of our deck here, we've got the Ten of Cups. So maybe, because I don't know who's going to click on this. Maybe somebody's a bit messy. Perhaps you are cheating on this person. Perhaps there's a bit of drama. But overall, I would say that it's not anything that you guys won't work through, that you can't get through. And I would not necessarily even say that this is a bad thing. Maybe just a bit of minute stress, depending on, and that's just for who that would resonate with, because I felt the need to say it, because technically I don't know who's gonna click on this, so I'm just trying to throw everything out there. And it's kind of ridiculous, but if you know it doesn't fit with you, then of course don't take it. But overall, I would say aside from that, this is about all I see. And I mean, regardless of whether this is your situation or not, you can kind of just walk away with this in good faith. So thank you, Pile 1. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Thanks for coming. See you at your next pile, or I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, number 2. If you chose this red booby cover, nipple cover, we'll be mature here, then you've come to the right place. You've clicked on the right timestamp. Welcome. How are you doing? So the question or the topic at hand is, how will the person on your mind react to you telling them that you're pregnant? Pretty much your pregnancy announcement, whatever that may be. So I've got my cards reprimed. I reset them from the last pile, and now we'll just get started. Ancestors and Spirit guys, what will pile 2's person feel? Okay, so here's one card. Okay, this person would be ready to start this foundation with you. This person would want to marry you. There would definitely be very positive feelings of celebration, but not like a 3, more like a 4. So celebrating, like 4 symbolize stability. 4 is said to be, I guess, more stable than just a 3, right? So you wouldn't think, pop some bubbly and, go out for not dancing or drinking. This person would be in it for the long haul with you. They would kind of be proud of you. No, not kind of proud. They are proud of you in a sense. Not saying that they're not proud of any other pile, but I do want to specify that this person is proud. But because I would say that they're proud, but in like a way that you can feel safe, that they feel proud of you. Not that they want to show you off, not to say that they don't want to show you off, but if they do show off or tell people, it's out of pride, it's out of love, and not necessarily out of pride in a sick way, if that makes any sense. I'm going to shuffle more and see what we get. Either jumped out. I'm going to take this, and then I'll take one more. Ooh. Okay. Well, 2 popped out. All right, if this is an ex, they're going to want you back. This person is a little bit, I would say, off their game, because here's the Emperor reversed just a little bit. And then we have the Judgment card here at the bottom of the deck. So, or the top, whatever you want to call it. Here, the 6 of Cups, they'll feel... I'm just saying, if this is an ex, they'll want to get back with you. They'll definitely want to reconcile. They'll definitely be thinking of marriage. Here's the Star card, which is perfect. I got this in the last pile, so you might have just come from pile 1. This is, again, the perfect card for hearing about someone being pregnant, because, you just kind of are letting go, let God, and things happen for the better, will happen for the better regardless. But the Emperor reverse is kind of telling me that this person will kind of tail between legs, kind of have not necessarily second thoughts, but they may not be ready. Or if they are ready, it could just be something in their head where they are just second guessing, having self-doubts, probably being very, excuse me, I gotta put this back in the screen, being very critical of themselves and not trusting that whatever this is has been handed to them, they are perfectly capable of dealing with properly, right? So I see a bit of worry, but that's nothing to worry about because I do feel like this person will get over it. They're not going to have any choice to, but that's if that is a partner. Now, if this is like a grandparent or something, just all in all, I see this as someone feeling like they're not ready and that they're not up for whatever endeavor. But not in a way where they're telling you no or giving you negative feedback. It's more of an internal type of battle where, you know, they're nervous. Pretty much they've got butterflies. They're excited, they're happy, but you know, deep down, they may walk away from that conversation maybe an hour later, maybe 2 days later, and they'll start to think, well, you know, I like to spend a lot of my money on snacks at the corner store, and I spend a lot of my money there. What if I make a mistake and spend the diaper money? Or what if I make a mistake and I spend the formula money? What if I am still a klutz? Because, you know, that might come back, even though, you know, that habit hasn't, you know, showed its face in literally years since they were maybe like 10 or something like that. But what if I drop a whole bunch of formula and we can't get any more? What if I drop the baby? See, this person, I wouldn't say that they want to be a knight in shining armor because it's not there. They know what it is that they have to be. They just have like silly doubts, like I just explained, in their head that they might not be that. Just to be completely honest with you, but that's it. I don't see anything negative. You could be pregnant by an ex, someone that you knew from back in the day, an old flame, an old fling, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you have going on. As far as the Six of Cups, if you're telling your partner. Now, if you are telling like anyone else, like a family, friend, they're going to feel nostalgic. Say if it's a cousin, you were really close with them, y'all grew up together, they'll start to reminisce on how you guys grew up together, and now you're about to be someone's mom. You know, you're a whole parent out here in these streets now, and you used to be a kid yourself. They remember you from red light, green light, you know? If you ever seen Money Talks, you know, write that in the comments. But, yeah, if it's your parent, they may start to reminisce on how you were just a baby, or the things that you would do, and look forward to meeting this grandchild, you know, wondering how they would act. Would they blink like you? Would they cry like you did? You know, they'll reminisce and kind of have a bit of a flashback moment to when they found out. I'm getting this to be specific. If it was your mom, how she felt when she found out that she was pregnant with you. Or if it was your dad, how he felt when he found out that your mom was pregnant with you. You get what I'm saying? Lots of nostalgia, lots of cheek pinching type of moments there. I'm not going to necessarily say literally there would be cheek pinching, but just those kind of moments there. You know, let me see if I've got anything else, because this Judgment card popped out with these two, so I just wanted to say that. Let me see if I get anything for if you told someone other than a partner for this Judgment card. Now, let's just say if you maybe had a parent that was not so perfect, or you're talking to someone who possibly does, like, say if it's a family member, like a cousin, and you guys are really, really like close or something like that, or like an aunt or uncle, anybody, and they haven't really had children yet. Or maybe they have. They may, you know, kind of feel away with this Judgment card here. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Now, just to clarify, I'm not saying that they're going to feel away, but I mean, with the Judgment card, it's kind of like, you know, judgment, you know, not necessarily being judged. I never take it as being judged, but, you know, just that feeling, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm trying to keep this even and not give you guys too much time, but you may have a little bit extra because I had to stop. Now, I'm going to get more. No, I'm not going to knock on it yet. Give me a second, guys. Okay. So here's something else. Okay, so we got the Nine of Swords. This makes sense with the Knight of Cups here. This person may really feel like, why is this slipping out? Hold on. This person may really be feeling like they have to offer you something stable, and it stresses them out. They again are in the Emperor reverse, and that would have a lot to do with that, unfortunately. But because we did get the Four of Wands, this is not just a want. This is a want, and it's also an action that they take. They are offering you this cup. And, you know, with the Nine of Swords, the situation kind of weighs heavy on them. But I would say that that's a good thing, because having children is no easy feat. Bringing a life into this world, or in addition to the family, depending on what the person's responsibility or role is, can be very stressful. So I do see some anxiety. It really depends on your situation. You could kind of make that fit where you can. I don't have any background information on your pregnancy or what exactly is going on. I'm just, you would have to take what is and make it fit to that. All right, let me see if we can get one more. And that Judgment card really, really wants to come out. Okay, so I feel like this might be an ex or someone that you had past dealings with, maybe. Or I see it as someone, just in general, stepping up to the plate to handle business, you know, feeling an obligation to do so, feeling an obligation to make sure that you and that child have everything that you need, feeling an obligation, but at the same time, second guessing if they've got all that they would need in hand to give you, if that makes any sense. Simple concerns such as, how will you make it to the doctor's appointments? I'll bring you, but God forbid I can't get the time off of work, or God forbid, you know, schedules get crossed up, or I, you know, run out of gas or something like that. You know, they are very well intentioned on assisting you as best as they could. But whoever these people are, they're only human. So they have their thoughts, whoever they might be. And I'm going to go ahead and close out this second reading so that we can get into number 3. All right, pile number 2, that was for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at your next pile. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, hello, my pile number 3s. If you guys came to the pile of Damiana, welcome. This is going to be your reading on how would the person on your mind react, and how would they feel, whichever way you want to put it, to finding out you're pregnant. Like, how are they going to react to you telling them that you're pregnant? So go ahead and think of your person, and I'll go ahead and do my shuffles. Ancestors and spirit guides over pile 3 person. We got one. Oh my God, I keep getting the star card. Okay, the star card has so far come up in pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I think that that's a good thing. Okay, so here's the star card, and I can't help but notice that I'm getting a nudge to mention the Knight of Staves. This person is going to want to move fast. Okay, now the Knight of Wands upright only moves in one direction, and that's forward. So I would not say that this person wants to move on from you, because then I think that the Knight of Wands would end up ill-dignified. I think that this person, see how they're crouched down, is really ready to take action. And then with the Star card, of course, there is that trusting aspect. We know what the Star card means, and we would hope that everyone would feel this way if we tell them that they're pregnant, that they would wish us the best, that they would, give their trust to God, that you remain healthy or get through the pregnancy in a healthy manner, and that the baby gets through the pregnancy safely and in a healthy manner and all of that. But I noticed that with this Knight of Wands, this person is going to be ready to take action towards you, to really step up to the plate, to be hands-on, asking what's next, and really just ready to be there, One thing that I do like about the Knight of Wands is that they always have a plan. Okay, so this isn't someone that's ready to run around like a chicken with their head cut off. They are really strategic. They're there to help, pretty much, to be of assistance in any way that they possibly can. And I think that that is amazing. So let me see what else. Hold on. No. That was a Temu notification. Okay, so what else? That flipped right over. Did you guys see that? The Judgment card, and then here's the Ten of Wands. Ten of Swords, and I'm being told to pull 2 from the bottom. And let's see how we'll read this. Okay, I'm getting tired, guys. Okay, so here's the Judgment card. Now, the Judgment card came out in pile 2. So some of you could have come from pile 2. And some of you might have even come from pile 1. Now, if you've watched pile 1, 2, and now you're at 3, welcome. But with the Judgment card, I would say that they feel passionate. That they really, because I was talking about the Knight of Wands there, how they're ready to take initiative and they're ready to help. And this kind of just clarifies how he's standing at attention, ready to do what he has to do. You guys ever heard of Judgment Day, where you have to stand in front of God and, you can either be truthful or you could continue to be a liar, but you still have to stand, right? And they're ready to do what they have to do, is what that tells me. Now, it looks like 2 people, the High Priestess and the King of Swords. This could be a mom and a dad. This could stand for one person, and how they'd feel. Now, with the Knight of Swords is always very logical. They're very, very, very strategic to the T. It's like strategic to the point of someone who makes a schedule and they follow that schedule exactly. Like, they follow that schedule so religiously that, it just, they write it down and they just stay. They're like that. So they're ready. They want to know when those appointments are. They want to know how far along you are. They want to know, did you eat anything that day? They want you, they can almost track your blood sugar and all of the other levels that may, need to be tracked, with pregnancy and all, just by looking at you, because they're just that logical. They're just that brain. They're like AI in human form, though, with emotional intelligence, just a little more emotional intelligence than AI, and then with this High Priestess, that kind of ties into that whole intuitive factor, where they're checking up on you. They know when it's time for you to eat. They know what size the baby should be, what you should be asking, how often you should be peeing, if, you're, depending on how far along you are. Heck, I was going to say, you know, this is an herb. I think it's good for intuition as well, but you know, we know it's good for other things, but we're not talking about that. Now that I think about it, this person could know if it is your partner, regardless of who it is. I'm going to say that they would know that you're pregnant already by the time you come to them and tell them. Okay, like maybe there's just a look on your face when you say sit at a table and you know you bought them coffee. Well, I don't know. It depends on how you feel. You could be drinking coffee, you could be drinking a matcha. It's up to you. But or maybe you know just by you know when you sent them that text message, hey, we need to talk, or just the look on your face, they'll know more than likely exactly what you want to speak to them about, and they are ready to do what is needed to be done. I mean, who wouldn't be? So I'm being told to not go off of what I see at the bottom of this deck at the moment. So I'm just going to move forward and get more cards. Ancestors and spirit guides. Whoa. Okay, that is for me. So I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to take this for you guys. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely, wow. Okay, yeah, you guys see what my message was. But I'm going to split the deck. Okay, wow. I mean, either you got, because look at this. Here's the Sun card. Either, let me see. That's the Five of Cups. You look like you've got a lot of people to tell. And because I've seen the Five of Cups, you must be kind of nervous to tell it or ashamed, or you're a lot less gung-ho. But you see all of these people, they're celebrating. Whatever the heck is going on here, they're happy. You have people who are ready and able to support you. So regardless of whether it is your partner, regardless of whether you're thinking of your aunt, whoever they are, I feel like there's a lot of people, and maybe you kind of aren't thinking of those people. Maybe you came here for one person. Maybe you just clicked on the video for fun. But a lot of people, because you know, grapevine, would be very happy to find out that you are pregnant. Very excited and willing to help, most importantly. Yeah. So that is a beautiful thing. Let me see if I get anything else. Now, I'm looking at this. These are the smokable herbs you could like to smoke. But all in all, I would say that your person, because Damiana is like a really sexual type of herb, you know, I would say that if you're thinking of a partner, that person probably knows that you're pregnant because they also got you pregnant on purpose. And I don't know if you came from pile 2 or not, but in pile 2, there was kind of this air of being proud. Now, but you know, like offering stability. Now, sometimes when people are a little bit lower, vibrational, they show their pride in different ways. This person wants to smoke, wants to party, wants to turn up because, you know, they're about to be a pappy. You know, I wouldn't say, because I don't see anything heinous where they could have trapped you, but that's a possibility. But, you know, it's that same kind of not arrogance, but, you know, that cocky type of vibe, you know. Looks like this person wouldn't necessarily have to worry about a thing because money, you know, would come. And then they've got the logic for it. I feel like this person, if you're talking about a partner solely, would be more versed in what your body is going through than you. Because once again, they probably did it on purpose. Well, I mean, of course it's done on purpose, but because that's ignorant. Let me rephrase that. Not that they did it on purpose. They just meant to get you pregnant. I don't know, because don't they mean to get people pregnant anyway? They like you. I'll put it that way. They like you, and they look forward to raising children with you. All right. So that feels like that's going to be it for pile Jeez, the Three of Swords, I'm sorry. Okay, so that feels like that's going to be it for pile. I'll try to remember this so that I can meditate on it later. That's going to be it for pile number 3, but let me see if I could get more. Let me see, Ancestors and Spirit Guides, one more. And that Sun card just called out to me, so I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to pull out the Sun, and I'm going to lay it right here. I'm not into guessing the gender of your child. I do not believe in that necessarily, in all honesty. But it just looks like, wow, you're not getting the Six of Wands because you've got a lot of work to do. You know, you're making a baby, but, you know, if there was any kind of situation I could give you as far as to how people, it looks like in general, especially the person that you were thinking of, is going to react, they are going to be very, very happy. This is a moment of great pride. This is a moment of just, wow. And I actually picked this pile. I'm not a smoker, but, you know, I mean, it is mine, but, you know, I just don't really, you know, I'm working on it. I got my own little blend here. I got some lavender. I've got some rose, and then I take this and I put it in like a roll, not a roll up, but like a pre-roll or something like that, and then, you know, just have it there. But this is my pile, guys. Let me know down below if you pick this. Let me know if you claim it. I did want to mention, just to be fair, that this person would also have a little bit of anxiety, a bit of sleepless nights, a bit of worry, some stress, overthinking, going over and over in their head about certain things, which is natural if you're, you know, finding out that you're having kids. So there would be a little bit of stress, I would say. And I mean, it's not contradictory, because sometimes when we overthink, a lot of times we overthink, and sometimes overthinking can be a good thing, and sometimes it can just be some anxiety, like where the person might have nightmares, or what do they call those, bad daydreams or something like that, when they start to think that something might happen, or they're, you know, just shopping for baby clothes and they say, well, what if I zip the baby's toe in this sleeper and then I'm such a terrible dad, and they're crying and they're screaming, you know, or what if, you know, I can't fully be there for you in the way, or understanding that they can't fully be there for you in the way that you would really, really need, because, I mean, you know, you've kind of got your own perspective of the journey and they have theirs, you know. So I would also think of the Nine of Swords as a little bit a little bit of guilty, but that's about it. All right. That's all I've got for you. I'm going to just cut that short right there, pile 3. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, night, evening. See you at your next pile. If not, I'll see you later. Be well. Bye-bye. All right. Hello, my last pile. After this, I am done. If you picked this tarot deck right here, I'm being drawn to showing you what this card is. If you picked this tarot deck right here, then you are at the correct pile. Now, if y'all want to go look up what the Five of Pentacles means, then that's on you. Maybe that would kind of let you know. That could be how you feel at the moment of telling someone that you're pregnant. It could be how your person feels. It could actually be your financial situation. It could be your current situation. You could be between homes. You could be between jobs. You could be just feeling alone, you know. Or let's see what else. In need of a drink, which you probably shouldn't do, but just may want to. You know, you could overall just be stressed, and so can the person that you're thinking of. But let's get started, and let me see what my ancestors and spirit guides have to say. Ancestors and spirit guides, what will pile 4's person think? Let me feel and react. How would pile 4's person react? Okay, let me pull that one. Ooh, you got the Ace of Swords. Okay, let me hide that because we don't want what's at the bottom of the deck, but I am feeling like I need to pull this. Whoa. Whoa, you got the Ace of Swords in the Tower card. Let me pull this back because, okay, so I said all of that. Now, I wouldn't say that you don't have anything to worry about just yet because I'm going to need to pull a few more cards, but you're definitely winning. I will tell you that much. This is one of my cards of triumph. It doesn't matter what the heck's going on. I see the Ace of Swords and I know that I'm on top. Like America's Next Top Model. Want to be on top. And I am. But here's the Tower card. Now, whatever this is, obviously is taking you by surprise. I would say that you would be stressed about the situation, or your person is. It could be both of you, in all honesty. But this is a Tower. Okay? This is something that you both, I don't want to say weren't expecting, but I would say that you're not ready for at the moment. And you know, things change day to day, hour to hour. I'm not saying that you could have been somewhere trying to make a baby and, everything was gone to crap. I'm just saying this could be, if you're thinking of a partner or anybody, your relationship with that person is a little bit sketchy at the moment because maybe 2 weeks prior you guys had gotten into an argument, or maybe the day after you had a fight, maybe the morning after the previous night, you woke up, said, well, I don't really feel right. Let me go take a test. And you vowed to probably give your partner the silent treatment, or they're giving you the silent treatment. I don't know what's going on in your house, but that is possible. And you decide to go take a test. And now you've got to, run through the house and go tell them because you've got a positive, when now your relationship is a little bit shaky. Like maybe this is after a fight, I would say, of some sort. It doesn't have to be a bad fight or anything like that. Maybe a heated discussion. Maybe during conversation you kind of found out that you both, if this is a partner, aren't on the same page. Maybe with the person that you're about to tell, you're not really on speaking terms with, and the last time you spoke to them, there was some sort of tumultuous communication. But Ace of Swords is also a card of communication as well. So I would say that whoever you're thinking of, you may be on the outs with them at the moment. If you're not on the outs with them right now, then you could, I'm sorry, guys. You could start to be on the outs with them later. I mean, as soon as the day before you find out, as soon as the hour before you find out, and that person stormed out, or walked away, or they're at work and they're like, well, I'm not going to go get the milk because I'm tired or something like that. And then you've got to text them back like, hey, we really need to talk. I can see something like that happening. Let me look at this card because it has nudity. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I'm looking at that. Now you can do with that what you want because that's the number 13 as well. And I wasn't really supposed to be pulling from this deck, but you can definitely say that whatever Tower moment is coming to an end, whatever 5 of Pentacles is coming to an end, because here's the Death card here and here's the Ace of Swords there. So there's a beginning and then there's the end. So here's the end so that you can have your beginning. This is definitely somebody that you could have been ignoring, or ignoring you, or just you guys weren't really on speaking terms, or they're not your favorite person or whatever. Let me see. Spirit guides and ancestors, do you have more for pile, for pile 4? Do you have more for pile 4? Ooh. Almost got the Ace of Pentacles there, which is our pregnancy card. One of them can be one of them. It also can symbolize a new job. So that would be for my people who are kind of in that 5 of Pentacles mode. See, with the Death card here and the Ace of Swords, with the Tower card, you could be getting a new job. Here's the Seven of Wands. So here you are facing whatever adversity, you know, ready to take action. This person, because I'm kind of seeing them face the sword. They're ready to speak to you. They're ready to fix, well, not fix, because this isn't like, all right, they're ready to take action and, you know, do what needs to be done, hear you out, work on things, even if they still may feel, you know, Tower and Five of Pentacles towards you. You know, there's still a need to come together and do what needs to be done. And there's an action toward that, most importantly. Let me see what else. With the Two of Wands at the bottom there, they're definitely giving some introspection, some planning, some want there. Here's the Seven of Cups. Now, I am going to have to meditate a little bit on this Seven of Cups, because Seven of Cups, maybe with this person, depending on how nasty your fallout was, you'll start to discuss your options. But I really, because definitely a discussion of options is a thing if you had such a nasty fallout, or if you feel so alone. A discussion of options is possible. But options could be just thinking about the what ifs, you know, and planning. Daydreaming a lot. You know, you guys could fall right into your planning stages, your fantasy stages, your, oh, if I have a girl, well, because I don't do the whole gender thing, but if the child is born physically a female, then I want to dress her like this. I really want to send her to this school. Oh, I hope she becomes a Harvard graduate and is the first doctor to create a cure for cancer. Or he, you can flip it whichever way, they, depending on how you choose to run your household. And how you carry yourself. I'm just saying, this isn't about me because I didn't pick this pile. But, here's the Six of Swords at the bottom. So with this person, I would see that you would be moving on to calmer waters together with each other. Moving away. My eyes are drawn up to this. Moving away from this alone feeling. Okay, so that Seven of Cups really could mean fantasizing, planning, daydreaming, getting ideas about what you would want to do and how you guys will move forward. I don't know if that wants to come or if it doesn't. And I want to tell you guys that the card that wanted to jump out is the Tower card again. So this is completely unexpected. Maybe you had been trying for quite some time and you got in a fight or something. Something happened, but you were not expecting this positive. You were not expecting, or that person, excuse me, was not expected. Because why am I reading you? I guess because I started pulling out of this deck and you picked this deck because... All right, y'all. Sorry, my phone died. Okay, so I do want to point out that whatever the heck's going on is completely unexpected and it threw you for a loop. I think that, only you know your situation. So it comes as a surprise and a complete Tower moment, like a kaboom, like shakes the world of the person that you're telling. And whatever it is that's going on, whatever you're telling them, the situation itself, for whatever reason, is coming as a kaboom or a shock to you. Let me see if I can get one more because I'm running out of phone storage and I don't want to miss this. Is there anything else? Ooh. Okay. Okay, so this person is going to want to take a lot of interest in offering you a cup of love, a cup of reconciliation. This is mine. I think that's why that keeps pulling, but I'm drawn to pulling it closer. This person is going to want to work on the relationship with you. They're going to want to mend whatever is broken. And yeah. Well, pile number 4, that is your reading. You got a little bit extra and you're about to get a little bit extra now. Oh, here's something else that wants to, you got 2, is that 3 that wants to come out? Let me look at them to make sure that there isn't any. You got the 6 of Swords and the Devil card. Whatever problems you guys had, this person is willing to heal. This person, again, is willing to mend, willing to soothe. Now you got the 6 of Swords twice, I think. Where is it? No, you didn't. I think that was at the bottom of the deck. And now I can't find it. But yeah, you guys kind of got the 6 of Swords twice. And that is pretty much your main storyline here. I think you might have come from pile 2 with the 6 of Cups. 222 on the clock, as I said that, where you are making up with someone. And this would just be your clarifier. But if not, you might want to check out pile number 2. Or you can just leave this as is if you feel satisfied. But for now, that is what I'm seeing. That is what I am reading. And just to cut this short, because I know we don't have all day, pile 4, thank you for your time. That was your reading. Have a wonderful day, night, evening. And, you know, stay well, stay blessed. And, you know, if you guys have any, if you watch till the end, if you guys have any, I guess reading requests that you want, I'll do them happily. But again, this is just experimental. I just want to see what's inside of my subconscious. I'll definitely upload this and then revisit it to see, you know, kind of what's going on with me, because I just kind of saw a lot of things once I went down, you know, the rabbit hole specifically of this topic. Now, there are many rabbit holes, but I just, for some strange reason, felt drawn to touch on exploring this one first. But thank you guys for watching. Once again, I'm Shauna. You can like, share, subscribe, all of that if that's what you want to do, if that's what you like. Other than that, I appreciate your time. Stay blessed, stay well. See you later. Bye.